everyone, Chris here, and welcome to my channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today we are going to talk about capos because I had a YouTube listener ask about capos. So what is the deal with capos? I'm actually going to put my glasses on and I'm going to read the request here. I'll ask Cejilla, where to capo when soloing? No accompaniment singer. Is there a tradition where you would capo a particular palo, like soleá, tarantas, bulerías, in a certain position? Would you always use it for a specific mode or create different timbre, for instance? How you decide this, because sometimes this person doesn't always agree with the score, and anyway, throws off everything. Sometimes now they're saying, actually, I find capo at the first position difficult when I play up the neck because it throws everything off by one fret. Second and third work great. My ear and thinking and hands when avoiding stretches. When would you use something like capo 5 or higher? And seems kind of twangy, and for even a banjo guy, because this is a YouTube subscriber, Banjo Boy. So great question, and I think a lot of people have these questions. So we're going to go over a couple things, and at the end I'm going to talk about the pluses and minuses. We'll kind of do that as we go through. This isn't planned on my part. I didn't write it out, so we will talk about this little by little, okay? So first of all, a capo, we'll answer that first question. Do you have to put it somewhere specific for each palo, each song form? No, you do not have to do that. So capo is really important in flamenco for accompaniment of singers. So there's kind of a controversy about capos anyway in guitar in general, meaning that there are some artists that will kind of poo-poo the capo. They think that you should be able to play without the capo and be able to change keys, which is great. Yeah, I definitely highly encourage that, that you should be able to do that. But in flamenco and actually in regular guitar, for me personally, my philosophy on the capo is that it really helps the guitar be a guitar, okay? The advantage of the guitar is the open strings and the tunings that we particularly use and the keys that we particularly use. They come from being a guitar player. So if you are not able to use like all the strings and get the full richness of what the guitar offers, then you're kind of robbing yourself of the guitarness of your instrument. Is it great for your mind to be able to make different alterations of chords, different inversions, different ways of playing things, so that way you are more versatile as a guitarist? Absolutely. But I encourage you to use a capo as well, because I feel like that really maximizes the guitarness of your guitar, okay? The guitar has its strengths and weaknesses, and one of the strengths is the use of the capo. One of the weaknesses is the use of the capo. So there's pluses and minuses to it. Okay, so your question number one, that is there a specific place for the capo? No, okay? So then why do we use a capo? So the capo is used primarily, again, to accompany singers, okay? So you're used to playing something or you learn it in the open key and you go to accompany a singer and they have a higher voice or even a lower voice that needs lower than like open position, and you're not going to detune your guitar. So you put the capo up here and it works better for their lower voice in that key, okay? So in flamenco, if you're new to flamenco, welcome to flamenco. In flamenco, you learn what are called falsetas, okay? And so as guitarists, actually instrumentalists, period, there's a physical element to what we're doing, okay? I know that sounds silly to say out loud, but we got to remember this idea of what's called muscle memory, okay? That's short. It's really neuromuscular imprinting, but muscle memory is what people think about when they talk about. You understand when I say muscle memory, okay? So our hands get used to playing a certain way. And if you have to change keys immediately, yeah, like, oh, you're about to go on stage and they're all of a sudden that singer is having a bad voice night and they're like, oh, I have to change keys. And now you're like, what do I do? Well, with the capo, you can actually do it live on the spot because your hands are used to it and you don't have to actually transpose something live in time, okay? That's not something you want to do, at least not me. I don't want to do that. Let those jazz guys do that, okay? So in that instance, a capo will be a lifesaver, okay? So just recognize that as a flamenco student of flamenco, somebody who pursues the art of flamenco, you're going to end up collecting a group of falsetas, okay? And so I will just encourage you to, one category that you should have in your falseta collection is where that capo is, or how much range that particular falseta requires, okay? Because in the request here, he mentions, well, what if the capo is way up here? I don't even like how it sounds, but sometimes you have to put the capo up here. And so if you've learned a falseta that uses a 12 fret range, and now all of a sudden you want to pull that falseta out and you're at the 6th fret, guess what? You're going to have some challenges, okay? So that's just something that you'll get, like, I never really thought about it. I just kind of recognized I was doing it, where it's like, oh, this falseta works here. Oh, this falseta is off the table. Like, live on stage, while I'm thinking that, oh, I want to do that falseta, I can't have that falseta, I got to do another one. So eventually you have to have enough that covers where you're at, and then later on you'll get good enough that you can make stuff extemporaneously, and it might not be the greatest, but it'll get you through, okay? All right, so is there a particular place for each palo? No, okay? There will be a particular place that the singers that you work with, you'll get used to having your capo in a certain place, okay, for them. So then what's weird, there's some weird phenomena that happen, at least what I've, in my experience as a composer of flamenco music, is that I will have the capo up here because of what I'm doing, who I'm working with. I'm working with a specific singer that likes the capo on 4, okay? Then I will create something there for the first time, and for some reason, that not only muscle memory, but that mental memory, that actual like auditory memory of it being there, all of a sudden that falseta, that idea, that compositional idea, for me, it gets cemented like right there. All of a sudden it doesn't sound, sometimes it'll sound okay somewhere else, but for me, like, that original birthplace of that idea came from when the capo was here, the Cejilla right here, okay? So then all of a sudden it's like I create a whole piece and the capo's there, and that's it. So that happens for me, I'm sure, because it happens for me. I've never had this talk with other flamenco guitarists, but because it happens for me, I'm going to just assume, okay? Let's just assume that that happens for other guitarists, and that all of a sudden you have that whole piece there, and it works out well. So then they record it, and then you hear it, and that's where it is, and so you're like, oh, okay. And so then your ear gets used to it. So anyway, it's kind of funny how that works. It's the trickle-down theory, I guess, in flamenco. Who could have guessed that I would have used that as a phrase? Anyway, let's see. Okay, so then I want to talk about your guitar specifically. Okay, so flamenco guitars, do you see dots up here on the fretboard? No. Guess what? I don't have any dots here either. I'm completely dot free, okay? It's kind of ironic for an art form that we love, our lunares, our polka dots. We have no dots on our guitars. This is why, my friends. This is why, because as soon as you add that capo, we use capos so much that the dots don't do us any good, okay? Because they change, their framework as soon as we put this capo on. So none of our guitars, true flamenco guitar, has no dots, okay? Can you learn how to play guitar without dots? Yes, flamenco guitarists do it all the time. So let me just, like, I played a little bit of Soloist in the beginning, so I think I did something like this. All right, so that capo's on 3, okay? The capo's on 3. So now I give you your big, what do you call it, maybe paradigm shift on flamenco guitars that you didn't know, maybe you didn't notice that they didn't have dots, but they don't have dots. I have another guitar down here, which I should have a stand, but I don't have a stand. Bad, I need to learn how to get a stand. Anyway, this is a Yamaha guitar. Obviously I've used it for flamenco. You see the scarring there from my golpes. Anyway, so this is a Yamaha guitar. I got it because it has some electronics and I could put it through a speaker directly and it sounds okay. I have yet to find any kind of electronics that make a guitar sound, a flamenco guitar sound like it sounds through a mic. So I pretty much always use a mic, but sometimes you've got to use a plug-in. So anyway, now I'm going to play that. I'll put it up here on 6. Okay, so I was going to just say something here. This was a Yamaha guitar. The reason I got this one is because it didn't have any dots on the fretboard. It had dots here on those top, little sighting dots, okay? But I had a luthier actually take them away. I don't know what he did. He did his magical luthier stuff. And those guys, they do that, And so he took them away. So now it's a clean flamenco guitar and doesn't mess me up, okay? So now I play that same thing. Sorry. So yeah, sounds, I really like it up there. Yeah, there's something about it, I just hear, all of a sudden I hear Fernanda de Utrera, starting to sing up there. So anyway, yeah. So, and with this cutaway, then I get away, I can do more falsettos, I can go up here. But anyway, that's not the point. Normally flamenco guitars don't have that. But anyway, so that's it with flamenco guitars, or with your guitar. If you're having trouble, here's I have a guitar back here. You might see it, that one that's, we'll call it, I don't know, pink, salmon color, orange. It looks different depending on different light. But that's a Cordoba guitar that I did a video. I'll put a link for it. You'll find it super easy. I did an unveiling of that guitar. But that guitar, it's a Cordoba, but it's not a flamenco guitar. It has the dots on it. Does it have dots on the fretboard? It doesn't have dots on the fretboard, like actually on the face, but it has dots up here. I'd have to get those removed to really make me feel comfortable, because they actually start messing you up. Like the guy said, like Banjo Boy, okay? They'll start messing with you because your whole measurement system is off, okay? So, yeah, if I were actually use that, then I would take those away. I'd figure out a way to cover them up. But that one's just kind of a sit-around guitar. Gets the job done in a certain... It's nice to have a guitar out, okay? So, anyway, that's it. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope you've enjoyed my talk on capos, on cejillas. That's what we call them in Spanish, okay? So get yourself a capo, get used to moving. So now, here's my recommendation to you. Any music that you know, start moving it around, yeah? Make sure, and here's my caution, my big caution, make sure that you don't get so used to a capo that you forget to play it open, okay? And I've fallen into that trap before, okay? Where I have the capo on so much that I forget, my hands actually start contracting. I lose flexibility. You've got to be able to maintain that flexibility of playing in open position. So there you go. That's my cautionary tale. Let me be the cautionary tale for you. Learn from my pain, okay? And so you don't have to go through it. You're welcome. I hope I've saved you. So that's it. As always, you can let me know if you have any questions at all in the comments below, or send me an email. I appreciate you tuning in, and I wish you a wonderful day. Enjoy your flamenco guitar playing, and let me know what other questions you may have, not capo related. I'm here for you. And thanks again. Be well. Bye-bye.